2017 has been good to us so far. We've had great games like Horizon Zero Dawn and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild all within the early first quarter of 2017. Now we have Nier Automata. Does this new collab project from Square Enix and Platinum Games continue that trend, or does it finally break the lucky streak? Let's find out. As I just stated, Nier Automata is a collab project between Platinum Games and Square Enix, bringing together the characters of Square's series with the fast action-packed gameplay of Platinum Games. It sounds like a bizarre combination, but it turns out to work pretty well. Nier Automata, although it is in the same series as the 2010 game Nier, it's actually its own contained story, meaning if you jump into the series right now with Nier Automata, you won't need any prior story knowledge in order to fully enjoy this game. Automata has you take on the role of 2B, an android in a futuristic dystopian world. An invasion by an alien race has wiped out most of what was left on Earth, and the surviving humans created these androids like 2B to fight the machines created by invaders that were left on Earth. As the player, you find yourself in the middle of this war, siding with the androids and the humans against the aliens and the machines. Throughout the game, you'll rage on in the war while trying to figure out the origins and the secrets of what started this war. The story is sort of slow at first, but quickly opens up to a more interesting and surprisingly convoluted story that I got really into towards the end of the game. In fact, there's multiple endings for different playthroughs, so there's plenty of replay value when it comes down to the story. Playing a second time around might give you a different result in terms of the story, so that might be something to look forward to as well. The game does try to leave an impression of these characters upon the player and try to make the player feel some sort of sentiment towards these characters. But throughout the game, I just kind of got into the story for the story, not so much to see what happened to the characters themselves. I never really felt that attachment to 2B or any of the other androids. Gameplay-wise, Nier Automata is just as much of a collaboration as the entire game's production. At first glance, the game looks like a hack and slash straight from Platinum Games, but that'd be incorrect. While it does have gameplay elements of those games from the hack and slash genre, it also has part RPG elements, part side-scroller, part twin-stick shooter, and so much more. I think there's just so many variations of gameplay within this game that I think anyone just passing by looking at the box art or even the trailer would just completely ignore it and have no idea what was actually in this game. Luckily, Nier Automata doesn't sacrifice one genre quality over the other and actually manages not only to balance out each gameplay time throughout the game, but also keeps it up to par in terms of fun and polish with each type of sequence. Another great addition is how the game controls work, especially during the hack and slash combat sequences. While you do have a large variety of different weapons to use, the game doesn't really slow you down by forcing you to choose one over the other before a fight. While you're slashing down enemy machines, you can hold down another button to quickly fire projectiles while you're still swinging your melee weapon, and even with the press of the D-pad you can go ahead and access buffs or debuffs and even change your weapon set without actually opening a main menu. The combination of freestyle movement and easily combo chaining controls allows for some really fun and addicting combat that looks really badass on screen. While on the topic of combat, we should talk about the RPG elements. The combat is heavy action based as you would expect from Platinum Games, but with its RPG side you can upgrade and customize the weapons you use to fight. Furthermore, you can install chips on your android that act as buffs and debuffs for certain fighting characteristics within your character. Add in an experience system along with the leveling system and you have yourself the basic mechanics or infrastructure of a pretty decent action RPG. Now moving on to the visuals, on PS4 the game runs at 900p 60 frames per second, although you'll find the occasional dip in the frame rate here and there. On PS4 Pro that gets bumped up to a higher 1080p resolution, still at 60 frames per second, with better graphical effects like lighting and shadow quality. The game looks pretty, but it does strain occasionally with graphic pop in here and there and the occasional frame rate drop both on PS4 and PS4 Pro, although it's not bad enough to the point of being an annoyance. When speaking of graphics, it's very likely that Nier Automata isn't winning any visual awards anytime soon, but what it may win is a soundtrack award. Nier Automata has some of the best music in any video game of this year so far. Whether you're platforming through ruins or playing a twin stick sequence in the game or just slashing through enemy machines, the music in Automata is so good. I often found myself just listening to the music at times without moving my character just to enjoy the lovely soundtrack. If you do end up picking up this game, do yourself a favor and put on some headphones because any other way of playing is an injustice. In the end, Nier Automata is a crazy collaboration of a game combining third-person action gameplay, an RPG upgrading system, side-scrollers, twin-stick shooters, and so many more genres of gameplay. The best thing is that it does it all really well without one feeling like it overstays its welcome or just costs the quality of another genre. Add in some decent looking graphics and a badass soundtrack and you got yourself one of the best games of 2017 so far, and that seems like a reoccurring pattern so far in quarter one. The one caveat I see with this game is its complicated story that may not be the easiest thing for some players to pick up, in addition to its not so impressionable characters that I just really felt no connection to by the end of the game. I personally did eventually get into the story and the lore of it, but not before a very slow opening to the game, with the complex lore that rivals pretty much the Kingdom Hearts series. Nier Automata is definitely one of the greatest games so far in 2017, and definitely worth getting, but I can also see that complicated story turning off a few other players, so if you're not into complex stories, this may not be the game for you. But if you do manage to get through the story, you have some fun action-packed gameplay to look forward to. Thank you all very much for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, let me know by hitting that like button, get yourself subscribed to be notified whenever I release more reviews just like this one, and if you have any questions about Nier Automata, let me know in the comment section below or on Twitter, that can be found in the description, and I'll do my best to answer all your guys' questions. Thank you all once again very much for watching, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.